What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. I had several people hitting me up asking me, Mo, have you seen the new season of the game? Now, this is season 10. I watched season 1, 2, 3. After that, I kind of stopped watching it. I moved overseas and it was like, I'm not good with it. So if we don't make it all the way through this, that means it wasn't that good. I'm just playing. We're going to make it through all of these episodes. Now, Tasha, Mack is on here. Malik is still on here. And there's several new characters. So I'm going to jump into this. We're going to break this down. Hopefully it turns out to be somewhat good. But before we get into it, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you'll be a part of it. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, if you remember Tasha Mack, she's about that business. She worked her butt from the ground up and made sure that Malik had everything he needed, Mr. $40 man. So let's see what season 10 of the game has to offer us. We start off with them introducing a new team. It's a team owned by CBS and Viacom. They're called the Fury and they play in Las Vegas. You see Malik Wright's pulling up 2-time MVP and 3-time champion. So he's been putting in work since the last I seen the series. We have another player on the team's promo, Garret Evans, 4-time All-Pro and 2020 Defensive MVP. So the Fury look like they done stacked up on some veterans that are making their way in the league. I told you Tasha Mack been working her butt off. She got the private jet, she got an assistant, she getting a massage, she getting her feet and nails done, she got the little martini. Oh yeah, she's living the life. The owner of the team is contacting her because, you know, she got the #1 player on the team, her son, as a client. So Tasha, she's in here making these moves. We not even 2 minutes into the show and she's already firing the assistant because the assistant, she letting Malik smash. Now Tasha says that's a reflection on the company. You can't be sleeping with clients, and that is true. Bye. Well, it turns out Malik is also about to be an investor in the team. He's about to have a minority stake of about 5% of $1 billion team. Now that 5%, it will be small. We do need more black owners, but that 5% stake is still more than all of us combined. So, hey, I'll take that 5% any day of the week. You remember young Brittany Pitts? Jason Pitt's daughter? Well, she's all grown now. She's hanging out with some of the girls, and one of the friends is saying, Brittany, since I'm about to have a baby and I got engaged with no prenup, I'm gonna name my baby after you. So they in here, they yelling, they going crazy because she's about to hit whatever players' pockets these are. I'm talking about no prenup, straight child support, straight alimony, half of everything. Fellas, that's what they want. They want them M's. Man, Brittany is a very attractive woman though. There's a security guard named Jamison, and we hear his name being brought up on the sports media networks talking about why is a new team giving this guy an opportunity. He went to jail for sexual assault. We don't know if it was true or not, but they're going to give this man a chance. And right now he's playing security, but he was a top player before he went to jail. Now, we heard Brittany talking to her friends and they're like, you need to come out to Vegas, get some of this money out here, you know, live the lifestyle. She's like, nah, I'm staying in San Diego because this is where things are great. Well, it turns out the landlord came with security. Eviction time. Your condo is in foreclosure. So she ain't really getting money like that. A lot of them aren't. They may talk that, but they spend it on designer and hanging out with the girls. Gotta pay those bills. The guy comes in. He's like, y'all got to get out of here right now. She's like, keep it down, because she don't want her friends to know that she ain't in here making these payments. Now, everybody knows who Jason Pitts is. They don't know who Brittany Pitts is. He just, okay, you're an attractive girl, but you ain't making your payments. Now, she has a picture of her dad catching a championship game touchdown. She's like, look, I'll give you that if you give me a week. He said, I'll give you 1 day. I would have took that. You still got to get up out of here. He made the right decision. Fellas, don't fall for it. Just because they're beautiful, you still got a job to do. Get her ass up out of there because she owes that bank some money. If it was a guy, security wouldn't even came there with him. They would have waited till you were gone and all your stuff would have been thrown out because they don't play around with eviction. And she is 90 days late, 3 months late. She goes in there. Now she's thinking, let me go try out Vegas, because if I'm bumming it up out here, I can go bum it up with somebody in Vegas. At least I can come up on some of this money out there. But hey, things ain't gonna be different. Most of the time, if you ain't doing good here, you're not gonna do good somewhere else unless you actually have a plan. And for her, she has 24 hours. Whole time I thought this young man Jamison was a legit security guard. Turns out he's actually a stripper, and then it makes sense. What security company is going to hire a guy convicted of sexual assault? Well, We even heard the media say, we don't know if he did it or not. He just confessed to it because he probably pled guilty to get a lighter sentence. The court system is all flawed, but I don't know. I don't know the guy. Brittany goes ahead and makes it out here. And what she tells her friend is, I'd rather be broke in Vegas than a failure at my dad's house. Now, you got to remember, Jason Pitts had a lot of money. He was very frugal just for this simple reason. He didn't want to go broke. I don't understand how you can have a rich father and he puts you in a position to succeed and you go broke doing nothing. You'll never understand it. You'll never understand it. But the more Brittany talks, we start to see why she became a failure and why she's broke. She's talking to Jamison. He comes over. He's like, hey, what's up, Raquel? She's like, oh, Jamison Field, you were a great player before you went to jail for having sex with your girlfriend. That's why I say the system may be flawed. We don't know what actually happened. And he's like, man, this is all insensitive. She's like, oh, my bad. And he was like, man, it's a pleasure to not meet you. Like, dang, Brittany, very, very attractive. But I don't think it's all there. I like Raquel because she's like, okay, Brittany, where you staying? I get off in a little bit. She's like, oh, well, you told me to come out here. I'm going to stay with you. She's like, yeah, well, it's $2,000 to stay where I'm at. You're going to have to come up with half. She's like, oh, how am I going to come up with that? All my credit cards are maxed and I don't have any money. Sell that designer, get rid of the jewelry. You starting fresh out here. But Raquel said it's 50-50 if you come in and stay with me. Friends or not. Bills are due on the 1st. And we know Brittany, she's not good with those bills. Garrett's up there giving a speech and Malik's supposed to be here. Come on, Malik. You want to own this team. You want to have a stake in it. You got to show up for this. So you see Tasha's texting him, Malik, get your tail up here. Now the owner, Colonel, he's like, where's your son? She's like, oh, you don't worry about that. You just worry about that contract with our man up there. He's like, forget that contract. If I'm going to give some ownership of my team, that is more important than that little measly, maybe $20 million that I'm going to give him a year. Malik finally shows up and he pulls up in a jumpsuit. I'm talking about it's got glitter all on it and he's hyped. Ever since a young kid growing up in poverty, I always wanted to own a team. Not only make it to the league, but own a team. Now he's giving love to his mom. He's giving love to the owner, giving love to the board. Now you have to remember, when it comes to these big organizations like this, the board is who actually approves if there's going to be anybody coming in and buying a share of it. Because if he's buying 5%, he's probably coming in with a group of people, because 5% is still a lot of a $1 billion team. So the owner is looking at Tasha and saying, hey, you didn't tell him. So it doesn't sound like Malik is actually approved to own 5% of this company, but he thinks he is. Now, you remember he wanted to bring some extra friends? Well, it was these ladies and they up here dancing and he's starting to rap. We're like, oh my God, Malik, come on, man. You about to be the owner of a team. You got to be somewhat professional. At least at these events, you got to show up in a suit, come out, thank everybody, and then keep it moving. But of course, he's not in communication with Tasha. All he can think about is, I'm about to own a team. Malik talking about, don't judge me. He even got the Colonel saying, don't judge me. Well, the whole symbolism of that song was everything that he did that was bad, blowing 40 mil, hitting the guy in the wheelchair in the face. Hey, don't judge me off of that. I've changed. And he takes off the star-studded jumpsuit and he has a suit on up under it. The whole time Tasha's like, kill it, Malik, stop. He still doesn't know he doesn't own any of this team. So he tells everybody, look, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I officially retired from football and I'm an owner. Now you're looking at the board members. They're like, what the hell? He ain't no board member. Colonel's over there. You know, the owner. You're like, Tasha just shaking her head. Damn, Malik. Well, they did approve his application to be an owner of the team, but that's for next season. This season, we want you to be the quarterback, Malik. Malik has a valid point. He's saying if I was a white guy with multiple championships and millions in my bank account, will we be having this conversation? So I agree with him on that if he was white. But at the same time, this is $1 billion business. This isn't a couple $1 million here and there. You have to go with whatever process the board has. They approved it. So they're not denying you from being the owner of the team. It's just not approved till next year. Now, if you would have been talking to your agent, your mama, you would have figured that out, Malik. But you out here doing your own thing, coming up with stuff that is unnecessary. So I agree with both sides. But at the end of the day, business is business. And they didn't deny him. They didn't say, oh, this is a black man, we're not going to give him ownership. It's just not approved till next year. You remember I told you Brittany came out here with no plan? No plan at all. She ain't here trying to gamble and win some money. I go to Vegas every year, haven't since the pandemic, but the only time I ever go in there and touch the tables is when I know I got money I can afford to lose. You never go in there with your last and expect to win. I go in there with 1,000. I know I can blow 1,000. If I lose it, oh well, I'm straight. But I guarantee you, I would not have went in there when I was 19, 20 years old with my last $100. Like, man, I got to get rich. Rent is due. No, but she wins. I told you it's just business, and Tasha's trying to tell him, look, it's just one season. Use this as a farewell tour, but it's business. Everything isn't going to go exactly how you want, but that's why you got to have a plan. And that's why you have Tasha here to tell you, oh, it didn't go through, but we can do this. We can make money doing this. You can't be caught up in your emotions when it comes to dealing with business, people. Now, Tasha, she's breaking it down. You got this farewell tour you could do. You're going to get gifts. Now, if you turn down $30 million to play football this year with a guaranteed ownership next year, you sick in the head. This is easy. You go out there. It doesn't even matter how good you do. They're going to guarantee you $30 million to be the starting quarterback. And then you're going to go into ownership. Man, that's a no-brainer. When is preseason? When is training camp? Because I'm there. Now, mind you, she came in here with her last trying to get rent. And remember, that's only half of $2,000. And even if it is $2,000, which she should probably go for so she can have rent and food money, she's in here putting it all on the line. Now, they had 100 people around the table like, oh, my God. She ain't betting no high stakes here, people. Ain't no one going to be around like, oh, man, she's over here winning $50. It doesn't work like that. Now, this gentleman shows up and he puts some money on there like, you know, one for you, one for me, because she's doing good. Now, she goes and cashes out. He's like, I wanted to get you a loan. Ladies, be careful. He comes over and he gives her something. The first thing she does is grab it. Ooh, what you got for me? She's thinking she's getting some free money or something from this guy. Maybe tickets or something. Turns out he's here to collect. You got car notes that ain't paid. You got a lot of nonsense. You in the hole, baby girl. So it's time to pay up. He talking about you got car notes, a mortgage, a black card, and it comes up to $930 something thousand. I see why Jason Pitts wasn't giving her no more money. She can't manage it. Why is all that maxed out? She's talking about you already took my condo. You can't get nothing from something. But what did I tell you guys when they were at the club? That necklace she had on? You should have been sold that, because now you're going to have to fork it over and you're not going to get anything but pennies on the dollar. Should have went to one of them pawn shops or something or got that thing bust down so you could at least get $5,000 for it. But it wouldn't matter. She's $932,000 in debt. It's going to take a while to knock that off. At this point, you're just better off filing bankruptcy and just starting all over. That's all I can say. Just file that, get rid of all that debt. You in Vegas, start fresh. Tasha shows up and she sees a man doing his job. He's trying to get the money that the bank is owed from her. And Tasha's like, who is this man handling him? He's like, look, you can take that up with her, but I need that next installment by the end of the week. Tasha's like, oh, I was going to call your mom, but not now. I'm staying out of this. Brittany ain't got nowhere to go. She lost all her money. He took the money. He took the diamonds. She got a long way to go to make up that $900,000. But Tasha's like, how the hell are you broke after being out of school for 3 years and your dad's rich? It's bad management there. Very bad. He tried to teach her growing up. Be frugal. You $1 million in debt. Jason is just shaking his head. Now, Brittany's talking about, yeah, I am kind of like my mom, but my friends, they thought I was rich. So it's like keeping up with the Kardashian. They got a condo. I got one. I got a black car. I took them to Italy. I got bread. My boys got bread. Y'all pay for y'all trip to Italy. I pay for my trip to Italy. We all go out to Italy. But she talking about I was a boss like my mom. Kelly wasn't no boss. Jason was the boss. If it wasn't for him making millions of dollars, she wouldn't have had none of that. So let's get that straight. Now she's talking about, Tasha, you should invest in my little company that I have where we take well-educated women and they service athletes. Not service athletes like that, but braid their hair, do maid services, and even maybe a date. Well, that means they're going to have sex with them if they go on a date eventually. So Tasha even says that sounds like a whole house. She's like, no, it's nothing like that. These girls, yeah, okay. Tasha's like, yeah, whatever you talking about. I'm not invested in that company, but you can be my assistant. It'd be $900 a week. She talking about 900 an hour? No, 900 a week, roughly 3,600 a month. So it'll probably be about 28, 29 after taxes each month. But hell, when you on the road, you ain't got to pay for nothing. So shoot, I'd take that. If I was her, I wouldn't take that right now. Hell no. I ain't getting up for no 900 a week. Tasha put her to work first day. Now she has to go out there and get bottles and things for Garret. She's talking about, oh, I'm not supposed to be running around for you like that. Garret said, well, I'm gonna go tell Tasha, because Tasha works for me. That means you work for me also, because you work for Tasha. So go get some music, some, some bottles, make it lit. She gonna have to get used to it. You a worker, you ain't no boss. Well, things are starting to look up for Brittany. She's out here making things shake. She got $30,000 to set up a party. Now, anything that she doesn't spend, she gets to keep. So she goes to Raquel and she's like, look, you give me some hookup on the bottles. I hire you to perform. You bring in the girls. We make something happen. So it looks like Brittany, she's on the up and up. Now I was giving her a hard time because in the real world, life isn't fair. Nobody owes you nothing. You got to get up and go get it. Now, Tasha afforded her an opportunity. It was a lower paying job, but it could turn into bigger things. Malik gets pulled over with weed. He's upset right now. And he's telling his assistant, hey, you got to take this weed. I can't get caught with it. He's like, hey, man, whatever you got with the cops, that's on you. I'm like, first of all, you're my assistant. You're going to take this weed and you're going to hold on to it. If not, you're fired. But the cop comes. He's like, is that weed I smell? And Malik's like, oh, no, it's an air freshener. Yeah, herbs of Eden. Now, first things first, they are in Las Vegas. Weed is legal, recreational use. They have dispensaries. You just go in and buy it. I would have said, oh, yeah, that is weed. Yeah, we smoked a little bit. Oh, okay, cool. Now, you're not supposed to be driving under an influence, but at the same time, hey, what they gonna do? I'm Malik Wright. That's what I would say. Oh, hey, yo, Malik. You know what I'm saying? You're good to go. He asked him out the car. The assistant, he runs off. Malik gets arrested for smoking while driving. Well, first of all, he's not smoking while he's driving because you didn't see any marijuana. So you can only get him for being under the influence. But even that, it would more than likely just be a ticket in Vegas, especially if you aren't driving sporadically. I mean, he did fail the signal, but it wouldn't have been nothing this serious. There you go, episode 1 of the game. I'm gonna give it a little, a little credit. They're doing a good job here. I like how it's building up and they're piecing together all of the actors. But let's talk about Malik, him getting arrested for smoking weed in a league that has a zero tolerance. This isn't going to look good, especially trying to be the owner. But let me know what you guys think about the first episode. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on a beat, boy.